lords and maidens, welcome ye all to Drawing Castles with Mr. R. Before we actually get down to the drawing part of it, kids, I want to tell you about the vocabulary involved, the parts of a castle, because once you understand the parts of a castle and where they fit in, it'll make it a lot easier to draw a castle in 3 dimensions or with 2-point perspective. So we've got an aerial view looking down at the castle from a helicopter or something, right? And in the back of the castle, I'm going to work from the back to the front. We have a brick building, of course, all made of brick, sturdy brick, and that will be where the king and the queen hang out, right? That's where the royalty hangs out, right there in the back. And running behind them, there will be a curtain wall. They call it curtain wall. And at the ends of the curtain wall, another tower. You have to imagine we're looking down on this. And the curtain wall ran around the inner area called the inner bailey. I'm not sure why. Turret here, a turret or a tower here. I'll explain the difference between towers and turrets as I go along. And then here's the Barbican. I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. It is an entryway into the inner bailey. But around all of this is a second curtain wall, bigger tower, tower. And this curtain wall ends up right here at a what they call the drawbridge gatehouse. And there's another turret and another turret. So roughly, if you've got enemies and you're the king and the queen and you want to stay safe within your castle, in the quarters inside your castle, you've got lots of protection, right? That's the main thing that castles are made for, to protect the royalty, right? So if enemies are coming or people who are hostile to these people, they have to go across a drawbridge, which is over a moat, right? Here's our moat, goes all the way around the property or the castle. And they have to go over the drawbridge, through the gatehouse, to the Barbican. And the Barbican, this other sort of gateway building, had a portcullis. A portcullis is like a steel woven fence or gate that slammed down so that invaders couldn't get through. So the invaders have to go through here and then through a second one. And then there was also protection around the king and queen's quarters here. And then, you know, maybe there was a well, maybe there was an outhouse. I'm sure there was an outhouse somewhere to go to the bathroom, right? And then there were other outbuildings that were in the inner bailey and outer bailey, which are the 2 areas, right, that are the flatlands inside the castle. So in just a minute, I'm going to show you how to draw one of these from the front using 2-point perspective. So I'm going to get rid of this. We don't need that anymore. And you've learned a little bit about the vocabulary, the drawbridge, the gatehouse, the Barbican. The portcullis is the gate that comes down in the Barbican. You've got the curtain walls that go around it. So here we go. We've got a pencil right now, and we're going to get down to business. We have a horizon line. I'm going to put mine kind of low. Huh? Yeah, I'm going to put mine sort of in the middle here. Can you see that? That's really light. I'll make it darker at the edges. So that's my horizon line. Goes through the building here. So that is here and here. And that's where the sky meets the ground, or the ground meets the mountains, or whatever. That's off in the distance, way off back there somewhere. I usually start with a rectangular front. And this is representing the curtain wall, okay? In this case, I'm going to make it fairly high. So you can see this is parallel to the sides of the paper. This bottom is parallel to the bottom, this is parallel to the top, and so on. So I've got a rectangle centered just about in the middle of my paper. And I'm going to erase, I don't need the horizon line going through my building, so I'm going to get rid of that. And then I'm going to put an archway. And it's going to go across the top. That's a Roman arch when it's rounded like that. So that's a Roman arch. And also notice that these lines and these lines are parallel to each other. You can't make a good castle drawing and have an entryway that looks like this because you're in a hurry. And see the difference there? You can still see it's an arch, but it's a clumsy looking arch at best. It's not a really, really nice one that we took care with. So I'm going to go back, erase this, and put in a proper one, straight up, across, straight down, and down here. Now the drawbridge falls forward, right? Like if you looked at it from the side and this was the building and this is the drawbridge, it would go right across the moat and hit the land over here. So we're going to have to draw that. And on our vanishing point, which I erased, our horizon line I erased, I'm going to put a little vanishing point right there in the center of my archway. And I'm going to take a ruler, but pretty much I'm not going to use a ruler because I've done this a lot of times and it's just going to get in my way. So I'm going to go from my point to the corner of where my arch is here, boom, 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 like that, and bring that down. And then I'm going to go from this side and bring this down. Now, if you've made your arch way wide, then your drawbridge is going to be really wide and look kind of silly. So I probably stretched it a bit to make it this wide, but I'm going to go down, bring this across. And the drawbridges were made out of sesame seeds squished together, weren't they? No, they're made of big wooden planks. And so we've got a wooden plank here, wooden plank there, here a plank, there a plank, everywhere a wooden plank, and that's my drawbridge. Check it out, right? Okay, now, next to my rectangle, I'm going to do a tall, skinny rectangle and one on this side because they usually had a tower or a turret next to the gateway building, okay? The gateway entry. And I'm going to curve the bottom of this a little bit like that, just like this has a curved bottom. If it's sitting flat on the ground and you're looking at it from here, it's curved on the bottom, right? So we want to show a little bit of that curve on both of these. Like that. Make this a little wider. I'll clean that up with my eraser and move on. Okay, now, running between tower and tower on top of the curtain wall was what they called the battlement wall. The battlement wall on this one is going to be about almost a ½ inch high, and it's broken down into little blocks. Keep watching, I'm making these little squares. Ooh, did it end up? Might take a little planning to get them exactly equal. Get it right, okay. And here's what's going to happen. I'm going to erase the in-betweens of each of these, and boom, oh, that worked out beautifully. So this is my battlement wall. These are giant stones on the tops of the curtain wall that did what? They protected the archers who were like shooting arrows down here at their enemies. So they were tucked in here on the wall, shooting down their arrows, right? Okay, moving along. There's lots of steps to this, baby. Okay, at the top, since this is above my horizon line, my curve here is going to go slightly this way and slightly this way. Can you see how that works? And then these are going to be just regular towers. And a regular tower has a cone on top. So it's going to look like this. A triangle, boom. Is it starting to look more like a castle now? You want to put that middle line in right there, because if you don't, you just try to go up to the top, you're going to end up with a lopsided looking triangle. And then maybe it's got a metal post sticking up, and then the wind's blowing this way, And here's the colors of the king and queen. They're on a flag that's flying out here like that, okay, on both sides. All right, got to speed things up. Here we had a Roman arch here. On the windows here on the tower, I'm going to make them Gothic. Gothic ones come more to a point. Can you see that? And here's another one. Boom. Gothic. Gothic. Okay. Not my best job, but it works. Okay. Then, behind the initial gatehouse, through the drawbridge, you might see the Barbican in the distance. So another rectangle is going up here. Right there. Another tower. I think I'll make this a skinny guy. I'll make it thicker. It'll look silly if it's too skinny. Come on, get with it, Mr. R. Speed this up. Haven't got all day. Okay, boom. There we go. And let me move this in a little bit too. Everybody makes mistakes, but we're just making adjustments. They're not really mistakes, they're just adjustments, so this looks better. Okay, and again, boom, boom, straight up here, boom, boom. Now I could be done. I mean, if somebody came along and saw this drawing, they'd say, hey, that looks like a castle, right? But are we done? No, we're not done. Let's keep moving. Keep moving, people. Okay, another one, another Gothic window, a skinny one on each one of these towers for balance. See how it's balanced on both sides? Another set of battlement walls. These are smaller because the Barbican, or this building, is in the distance, right? It's back here. We'll clean that up with an eraser. All right. Random stones. Every once in a while, we're going to throw in some random stones just to break up the surface of this particular castle, right? And maybe I'll have some on here. These might be slightly curved to pick up the cylinder shape there. Slightly curved and slightly curved. Okay. Around all these windows and openings, I might have a sharper pencil. Here we go, a sharper pencil. I might have a second arch made out of stones, and it might look something like this. Stone, stone, skinny stone, bigger stone, stone, sort of an angle, and it goes all the way around, and that really adds some definition. And at the top, we have a keystone. The keystone is sort of a triangular piece at the top of an arch that handles all the weight that presses against it and keeps all the stones in line, even though they probably had some kind of crude cement that they used to keep these guys in place. Okay, faster, faster, faster. I got to compete with the age, the supersonic age that we live in. Okay, so I put more around this one, more stones, blah, blah, blah. And then here comes, we're coming to a fun part. We're going to take the moat and we're going to go around our property back here. See how that goes back to the horizon line that I have right here? And then I'm going to go here, do the same kind of thing, about like that. And then I'm going to put one here where the drawbridge falls down and hits the ground. And it's going to go wah, wah, ziggy zaggy, zig zag, ziggy zaggy, zig. Okay, and the same way here, ziggity zag zag, zig zag. Back to my horizon line, off in the distance, way off in the distance. And then to create depth in my moat, I'm going to go down at an angle, down at an angle. See what's happening? Down there. This one's going down there. This one's going down there. This one's going here. This one's going here. And then here comes some water. Water, 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 water. Right to there. Whoa, what just happened, ladies and gentlemen? We got some dimension out of this bad boy. See that? Okay. And then, you know, this will be all like, if it was blue, that would help out, or murky green or something. That would really make it dynamic. And then we're going to do the same here. Down at an angle, boom. The cliff going down in, down in, down in. Here comes our water line and our dirt. Okay, so I think you get the idea right there. A little bit of water going underneath, put a crocodile in there, who knows what. Okay, now, in real life, if you've got the curtain wall that surrounds the castle, you might see the wall going back this way and the wall going back this way. And in fact, I think we're going to do that. It won't take but a minute, and then we'll be done with the details here. And in another episode of Cool Art Stuff for Kids, I'll show you how I colored this in. But right now, we're going to go pick a point on the horizon line. I'll just put a big X so you can see it. I would never do this in real drawing, but boom, see that X right there? Okay, then we're going to take our line and draw it with the pencil and a ruler. Again, don't have a ruler handy. I could probably just use the edge of my paper and go from the corner, all right, about right here to there, and do a line. I'm going to go a little lower. Get it down there. Thank you very much. Okay, there's my line there. Move to the other side, it's about the same place. Put a mark out here. Notice that this mark is spaced from the edge of my paper about like that one. And all of this is, you know, you can change this as you go. If it doesn't look right for your size paper, adjust as you draw. There we go. Boom. And then we're going to go from the bottom here. Whoops, I'm covering it. All the way to my point. And you actually don't have to go all the way to the point. You can go part way back like that. Part way back like this. There's my point. Always go to your point. Line your ruler up. In this case, my piece of paper. Boom. Far enough, right? Now, erase the horizon line. Erase the horizon line, because this is going to become a solid wall now. Here we go. Wall goes up. I'll put it about right here. Wall goes up. I'll put it about right there. Clean this up. Erase some of these lines that go back to my X, which I'm going to erase right now as well. Tighten this up a little bit with a horizon line now, and this. And then on the end here, I'm going to have another tower. Almost done. Hang in there, guys. Hang in there. It'll be worth it. A little bit of a curve again, right? And then this one goes straight up, up, up. It's a real tall one at the back of the building. Curve a little bit this way. Again, I've got to clean up with my eraser, erase those lines, find out where my middle point is. There's another tower in back. A little flag back here. The wind is still blowing that way. This goes here. Are you seeing it developing here? Another tower, round at the bottom, and then it goes up, up, up. How high did I go? About right there. Oh, that's a little messy, but I'm in a big rush. I just want to keep your interest as long as I can. Okay, boom, forgot my flag. There we go. Okay, and then again, random bricks along the walls. You can put bricks around the windows. I will detail it and show you the finished product maybe next episode. If I've got the drawbridge down and I'm looking in, and here's my barbizon back here. I'm gonna put a couple of these Gothic windows here. Then I can actually see inside here. So I'm gonna finish off the inside barbizon building with there, and then maybe we will see a second arch in here. Is that making sense? Second arch right there. It won't have a drawbridge, but it'll have the porticus, it's hard to say, portcullis, and it looks like this. One, I don't know how many metal bars came down, but quite a few metal bars came down. And then the guys inside the inner bailey could crank it down and up with a huge hand crank, and it probably weighed a lot and was hard for enemies to get through if they had gotten that far. Okay, let me see if you can take a look at this now. Here we go, looking like a castle, I would think. So if this is a little too fast for you and you didn't get all the steps in, you can play this video back, or you can go on Amazon. And even though my books draw medieval fantasies and my other books are out of print, they're not making them anymore, you can still find them on Amazon for super, super cheap. and I actually don't get a whole lot of money from it, but these are a great guide. Here are some castles inside there, another kind of a castle. There's about 3 castles in here. And this is one of my draw books. And here comes my shout out. My shout out is to my friend Doug DeBosk. Oh, there's a little picture of Doug in his prime. That's him down there. And he's my publisher for these books. He did cars, draw cars, did a fabulous job. And I had this bunch of drawings of castles and knights and things. Wait a minute, let me talk to the camera now. Look at me, I'm the king. There I am. Anyway, so I had a bunch of drawings of knights and castles and all kinds of things. And he came to my school. He was an author already and a publisher, and he had done some other books like Draw Insects and what were some of his other things? Draw Perspective, Draw Cars, Draw Bugs. Oh, I said that already. Anyway, draw rainforest animals and I think jungle plains animals, something. So he was a very good, accomplished artist, author, illustrator, blah, blah, blah. Great guy. And he came to my school and did a demonstration for my 8th graders about how to draw cars. And it was fabulous. It was absolutely terrific. And I actually approached him and said, you know, in your books, I've used your books before, there are really no people. I draw people pretty well. Can I send you some pictures of some castles in perspective and some dragons and some knights and some maidens and some those kinds of medieval things? And he says, yeah, shoot that by me and we'll see what we can do. So I owe a lot to Doug and Susan DeBosk because they actually took on my ideas, made a series of drawing books for me. Here's another one, one of my favorites, Draw Monsters. If you've ever seen that in the library or you go on Amazon, you can order it for fairly cheap. It just sort of started my author illustrating career, and I want to thank Doug and Susan very, very much. Susan edited the book, and Doug got it printed up and distributed. So I'm very humbled by that, and I remain the king, however. I'm losing my costume. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to say before I sign off is I talked a lot about protecting the king and queen, you know, and the enemies approaching. And if anybody knows me, I'm very nonviolent. It's just that the medieval period was fascinating to me as a child and also as a grown-up. And the idea that one group of people attacks another group of people and they're greedy and they want whatever these people have, the resources, the land, the religious beliefs. You know what you can do, kids? Especially the younger kids who have the biggest hearts and the most love and spirit in them. You can love everybody in your life. Love your teachers, love your parents, your grandparents, your aunts, your uncles, brothers, sisters, cousins, everybody. Show them that love that grown-ups should have. Show them that childlike innocence and love. Show it all the time. And it's contagious and it'll catch on. And hopefully we'll soon have a community of love that everybody will be happy in, and we won't have to be greedy anymore. Okay, I'm on to my next video. Hope you had fun. Hope you got a good drawing. Catch you later. I'm going to attempt yet one more time to sign off with my magic clicker, which is off screen, which very frequently doesn't work properly. We're going to give it a try, though. So, sayonara until next time. Clickety, click, click, click.